Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to your place of chill that is the Coffee Company, live here on the Coffee Company and, of course, on Tottenham on Tour, the world-famous home of Levy Out. It is game day, in the words of a fellow YouTuber, our good friend, Mr. Sean Butler. It's game day, and it's a big day. It is the Battle of the Bridge. It is a big game, and we're here to preview it on both of our channels, and we're going to have a good laugh, as we always do in Tottenham on Tour fashion. But, Aki, how are you this afternoon? And also, most importantly, today is the day for you. You're getting on a plane, and you're going to be here tomorrow. It's going to be mental.
It is. So first thing I'll say, Ange Bull's back. All right. So we're in good spirits. I've been up since early in the morning. Ilana kicked me out of the living room at 7:30 in the morning for being too hyper. So I've been bounced to the bedroom while she is in the living room. I'm now here. I've had one or two more coffees than I should have done. Long day ahead, but very, very excited. As after the game we're about to discuss, I will be making my way to the airport to come home and be with my nephews, my niece, my family, all the Spurs family, and obviously there for the fun and games on Sunday.
Absolutely, and we will hopefully try and preview proceedings in the next coming days, but we've already done that. But without further ado, let's see who's in our chat.
Before you do that, I just want to do what, like I said to you, I'm just going to put a link in the chat, people. People will know of a good friend of the channels and a good friend of ours personally as well by the name of Dan Gaze. I've just put a link in because he has just released a book about his life and the troubles he's gone through, and he's got an amazing charity that he's brought up, and he works in the mental health and underprivileged kids sector. And there's the link to his book, and he's a great supporter of the channel. He's a great friend of ours, and all the proceeds are going back to children and mental health charities. So not saying you have to buy it, but if you want to know more about a guy that has turned his life around from a troubled youth, time inside, and has now given back to the community and everything, everyone, please check out his book. Like I said, all proceeds go to charities.
Absolutely wonderful fellow Dan Gaze. It's an incredible book that he's produced, and I'm gonna try and get a copy of it. I want to read the story.
I want to get it signed.
Oh, 100%, we got to get it signed. We can have a real signed book. But without further ado, let's see who's in the chat to take us through the show. We've got a wonderful hour, and we've got Mr. James Flower joining us in the next 5 minutes for the usual fun and games that we like to have here on the Coffee Co. and, of course, Tottenham on Tour. But we got, starting up, we got Mr. Sean Slater, the king of bingos, in the house. Good to see us. So big up Koff, Daigle, and the chat. It's game day. Oh, yay. Yes, indeed. Indeed. We got Craig O'Sullivan. Good to see you, Craigie. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're well. We got Phil P. Woo! Good to see you. Mr. Barbaric Disdain. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're well. Good afternoon, young sirs. Don't forget to pay your rent and smash the likes and subs. Indeed. We've got Marios is in the house. Good to see you. A Tavacron Wembley one's in the house. The dreaded Spurs game day has returned. Chelsea scum, at least 2, I'm afraid. Safe flight home, Brian. Big up. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
We got the Sheriff from the 2 Mark Show. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see a Sheriff YouTube member as well. Stuart727 YouTube member. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're well. We've got Paul Clark's in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got Mark's in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're well. Tweaky. Good to see you.
Looking forward to seeing you Sunday.
Indeed. YouTube member. Indeed. Levy Out. We got all these links. He's coming home. He's coming home. Bobby K's going to get you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Bobby.
He's going to get you for that. He's going to get you for that. We're going to do it anyway. I love that we started this meme again of Barry being Barry from EastEnders, and we're just going to push it every way.
Well, it's actually, I will say it's been used today, not just on Twitter. Change for Spurs have announced that Spurs have been in touch with the Change for Tottenham and said if anyone is caught putting stickers anywhere around the stadium, they can get done for criminal damage and they will fight, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then someone has put that gif.
We're going to do
it anyway. It's got so many levels.
Barry's
it's got so many levels.
Good stuff. You see me too, indeed. We got Angus is in the house, our resident gooner. Our resident gooner's in the house. Good to see her, Angus. Hopefully you're well. Big up the OTC and the final boss. And we got Lisa Chica. Good to see her. Morning, Chicos. I'm happy you get to go home and be with the Tor family. Indeed. Fun debate this morning. We're not debating. We got Shemtang, YouTube member. Good afternoon, Mr. Ben Giovanni, Mr. Dagalus. Hopefully you're both well. I'm doing good. Big up, Dan, indeed. However, we're doing 6 hours.
Let me just say, Mark, yesterday it was the most Canadian day ever. Out of the blue, out of nowhere, 2nd of April, snow flurry. And it was snowing hard for ages. Then we had late evening, early morning thunder and lightning storm that washed it all away. And later on today, it's going to be 18 degrees. Yeah. So Canada in 24 hours.
It's great. 6 hours of peace. Then Spurs, indeed, Nick. Good to see you, Nick. Hopefully you're well. Afternoons. We got Flower Powers in the audience. Ian Ferguson, YouTube member. Good to see her. Indeed. Happy 6 years of the stadium. Good to see you, Rinketic. Good to see you, buddy. We got Martin with the sexy wall. Good to see you, Martin. Good to see you, buddy.
Good beast of a dog. That's a beast.
He does. You're going to be very jealous of Danny as well from the Hotspur Hood because he's picking up his brand new Rottweiler today. Oh. So you're going to his house after. Angus, good to see you. Who else? You're famous indeed. Indeed, you're famous. Yeah. We got Daniel. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got Kenneth is in the house saying up the Spurs, Tottenham till I die. Yes, it does. OH. Phil, North, indeed. Indeed. Happy 6 years of Spurs walking back to the 90s. Yeehaw. And of course, Brian, Scott M's in the house saying, I hope you have a safe trip home and come visit us again soon.
I will do. Scott, I plan to visit in just over 3 weeks and stay for an extended period.
There you are. Right,
let's keep this Spurs chat. Obviously, we can speak, protest everything at the end. Today, we go to a stadium. I mean, first of all, is there a fixture in the whole season that fills you with more dread than away at Stamford Bridge? It is, without doubt, our worst stadium, our worst team.
And Anfield's our worst.
I mean in Premier League and recent. I'm talking about
Premier League, yeah, for sure.
It is Chelsea. 2 wins, or only 1 win in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge. 1. And we go there right now amidst the Ange Postecoglou interview with the Chelsea players being back and with us having our players out. And what are we feeling, Ben? What are you feeling? What is the audience feeling as well?
Yes, what is everyone? Everyone knows what I feel. In a way, I hate Chelsea more than I hate Arsenal. I really dislike going to Chelsea. This is just the way I feel. Yeah. I hate going to Stamford Bridge. Maybe it's because of past experiences of things that have happened when I've gone to Chelsea and blah, 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 blah. Going to Stamford Bridge is like, it's with Tottenham and Arsenal's rivalry. There's always been a level of respect. Good to see you, my lovely. Good to see you, my lovely. With Tottenham and Arsenal, there's always been a bit of respect. Arsenal still have blue and white in their badge to say respect to Tottenham for what they did because, as you all know, when when Arsenal, during the Second World War, Arsenal had to move to White Hart Lane because their stadium was a danger of, because it was Arsenal, they thought they were going to get done in the Blitz. So to say thank you, Arsenal put a plaque on the wall at White Hart Lane and have continued to use blue and white in their badge. Whatever you think about it, Angus, you've got blue and white in your badge because of Tottenham. There is no respect between Tottenham and Chelsea. There is no respect at all. Yep, look it up. Look at the Arsenal badge. It's got blue and white in the badge. Look at the badge.
If we go into this, and as well, I don't know if people agree with this. The only weaker link Chelsea have compared to us, and you look at Spurs and the lineup we may have. There are some players. Midfield is getting overrun and everything. Fullbacks, whether they're going to be inverted or whatever they're going to do. The only player that I think Spurs can target is the Chelsea goalkeeper. If we get anywhere near them, it's going to be a really, really tough game. They're not in form, are they? Let's be serious. They're not in the form that they should be. Not that means anything. I personally think Chelsea could start with 7 men and we'd still find a way to cock this up. But who do you reckon are our danger men, Ben?
Our danger men?
Yeah.
The referee. And I don't know. The danger men for Tottenham Hotspur is, of course, our front line. If we can get behind them, and so we can get forward, we can score goals. The problem with Tottenham isn't that we can't score goals. We are the 3rd top scorers in the league for a reason. We are the 3rd top scorers. The problem is we can't stop conceding goals. That is our problem.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the front line, guys. Let's have a discussion. It includes the 50 people watching currently. Front line, we know it will be Solanke and Odegaard. Oh, sorry, Solanke and Son. Who is going on the right? I am going to say who I just said, and I say Odegaard. I want to see what Odegaard can do. I don't know what you think, Ben, and people in the chat.
Yeah. I would personally like to see Brennan Johnson play. Personally, I would like to see Udogie play on the left, and I'd like to see Spence on the right. I want to see. We need to commit men forward. We have to get them on facing their own goal. I personally, I like Odegaard. I've seen some good things from him. I don't think he's there yet. We need our goal scorers. We need players that can score goals. At the end of the day, it's all about our defensive line. The problem is, as Barry from EastEnders said, we're going to do it anyway. We're going to be wide open at the back. We're going to play nothing in midfield, and we're going to expect to take on Chelsea.
Well, well, oh, here he is. Let's see what he said. Good morning, Benny, Brian, everyone in the chat. Sad day today, Brian going home. I didn't even get a chance to see him on this holiday. You're so funny. But Marius, well, Joe, I'm not come to that question at the end about Mikey Moore. This is the midfield, Shawnee, I actually want to see. I actually want to see Graham, but I don't think we can give Gray a starting. But although you look at it, he played when Chelsea played Leeds last season in the FA Cup. Did he play at right back or did he play at the 6? Because he ran the show that game. He literally ran the show. I don't think, as much as we want to see Archie Gray at number 6 and actually start in the position we bought him for, I don't know if Spurs will actually do it. I honestly don't know. Who's your people? Let's have a look. Who's your midfield 3? Who is your midfield 3? But we got to remember, good old, we get told. I don't understand what Andrew's trying to say here. And he goes, in the positive news, they'll be back in 2 weeks in Danso and Kulusevski. When we were told they'll be back after the international break. And Chelsea, who did have injuries, miraculously, they're all good to go. Cole Palmer, who hasn't been on form recently. You know what's going to happen there. Who are the other ones? Madueke, and who was the other? I can't remember who the other player was. But they're all good to go. They're all good to go. Yeah, Mark, if only. Could you imagine that midfield? That midfield would be awesome. But Chelsea's midfield is going to be. Thank you, Angus Jackson. Their midfield is going to be stacked, and we know what's happened with our midfield. And obviously, Angie's comments when they said, "Chelsea, are you going to be more defensive?" And he was like, "Nice try." I can't remember what his exact words were. Saying like, "Yeah, we're going to go and do what we do." And see how we go and be entertained or not be entertained.
I should have put this in. I should have put this in the stream.
I'm going to find it.
I'm going to do it anyway.
I'm going to find it. 1 second. What was Angie's words? Let me have a look. Someone might put it in the chat.
Yeah.
But let's see if I can find it. Where was it?
Let's find it.
I haven't to find it because someone might find it before us. Keep an eye on the chat. I've got to try and find it.
Have you gone through the chat?
I have to some extent, yes. To some extent,
say hello to Bobby K.
Yes.
Awesome. Good stuff. Scott is saying, in my view, for us to win, I think OG is going to have a blinder for us. By far our most dangerous attacker. Indeed.
Where is it? I've got to find that comment they said because I want to quote it right. He said something along the lines that when he said, "Should we be more defensive?" I'm sure someone will put it in the comments soon. But yeah, we're going to have to see what happens. And a very special man has just joined the chat. All hail Graham. Graham is in the chat. Can't wait to see you on Sunday. Yeah, it's like Shuley said as well. Oh, wait a minute. Let's bring up Paul's comment. Let me just bring up Paul's comment. Who agrees with, there's one person that stands out like a sore thumb for me that I don't want to see start. If you guys, let's use Paul's lineup as a baseline. Just write in the comments who you would change and who for. Simply that. I mean,
I would have Basuma out of the team for literally anyone else. Basuma out of the team for literally anyone else. So literally anyone else at the moment. That's my concern because we all know. I mean, I think the back four is correct. Wait a minute, Ben, leave that up for a second. I think perfect time to bring in the clock end. Mr. Flower. First of all, Flower, how are you?
I'm absolutely amazing. I'm so buzzing.
You're raging, bloody hell! You really are. You're on
I've just picked up my new van with my new sign. Oh man, I'm so happy with it as well.
Oh, you are?
So I sent you a picture. It's so incredible, man. It looks.
I'll check it. But we'll come to you first, James. We're using this from Paul as a baseline, as a start 11. Would you go with that, or is there changes you'd make?
I would make one. I would make Udogie for Spence. And I would put Porro right wing back, right back.
Okay.
I will probably swap Basuma for Bentancur.
Yep.
And maybe Son for Tel.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. So wait a minute. When you say Spence for Porro, are you leaving Spence on the bench, or you?
No, Spence for Udogie and then Porro right back.
Gotcha. So I think Porro. I think Spence will start. It's always a case of where we need. I think it will be Bentancur or even Sarr for Basuma. But listen, we all know Basuma on his day can be the game changer in this game very, very easily if he's on his game, which he's shown he's not for a majority of his Spurs career. But we also know if he's not on his game, he could be a massive, massive, massive liability. I think the change of Biss has been the main change, hasn't it? Ben, if we look through I think a lot.
Nick is saying Basuma for Sarr because Sarr would add a lot of engine in midfield, and I think we're going to need that. And I know
Sarr's not good enough on the ball for me. I think he'll give away the ball too much.
Big up, Stephen, by the way. But this is the thing. That midfield, we've looked at it. Maddison, well, Joe, this is the kind of Joe. What? Let's have a quick chat about him because he always comes up, and my views on him are quite opinionated. Shockingly, this is a massive game for James Maddison, isn't it? This is the kind of game where you say, right, James Maddison, step up to the plate. And Joe, this I agree with. This I agree with. It's the lesser. It's really, that's how bad it's become, isn't it? But you look at it, our midfield is being overrun anyway, isn't it? But Maddison, James, it's a massive game for him, isn't it?
Huge, to be honest. You know what the sad thing is? I think it's the kind of game that he would thrive on, but I just don't know how much this Ange system is going to allow him to thrive. But he is probably one of the players, and same for Son. I'd put Son in the same category. This is the game they need to earn their money, both of them.
Yeah, Ben, what do you reckon with Madders?
Maddison has been our most creative player this year. Goals and assists. He's our highest creator this year. A manager worth his sorts would usually solidify at the back, play two holding midfielders in front of the back four and just say, oi, Madders, you don't need to defend today. Don't need to run about today. What you do is you go exactly where you think you can hurt someone. And James Maddison should be doing that anyway, in my opinion. That is what his role in the team should be. He should never have to track back. He shouldn't be running about. He shouldn't be covering for folks. His job should be make stuff happen. But the problem is with this system, because we are playing only one holding midfielder who's not a holding midfielder, it's another issue I have with this system. Basuma is not a holding midfielder. He never has been. He's always been a box-to-box midfielder, receive the ball, drive forward with it. That's what he's been his entire career. We don't have a single holding midfielder worth their salt. All of our midfielders are people that like to get their foot on the ball and pass it. But what we need is a Wanyama, a Palacios, a Huddleston type figure. Someone who's just going to sit in their position and just going to be a shield. Of course, Huddleston can pass as well, but we need that shield.
I think our midfielders are all of our midfielders are midfielders that don't like responsibility. So they're players that want to play, but they're only good, not only good, they're only going to thrive, in my opinion, when they're sitting next to somebody that's going to do the dog work for them. Because Basuma, Bentancur, and Bergvall, from what I've seen, none of them like to do the dog work. They like to be the guy after the guy, and that for me is why. Even like we say, we should get rid of him or rebuild or blah, blah, blah. It's hard to judge them because they haven't been playing next to an out-and-out defensive midfielder.
This is the thing. And there's one, Dan brought up a comment, and I just want to quickly switch over to Chelsea. We'll come back to Spurs at the moment. I kind of felt when we were looking at wingers in the summer, and I personally think Madueke this season has been, when you look for a winger that we need, and obviously there's rumours again that he may leave because how many people Chelsea have got and whatever. If you look at Madueke, he is quick, he is powerful, he is direct, and he gets balls in the box. I would love to see him return to Spurs. What's the chat and your guys' feelings? Or because obviously if we said we could take one player from Chelsea, who would it be? Obviously we're all going to say Palmer, blah, blah, blah. Not happening. But if there was a player,
Enzo Fernandez would be one as well. Enzo Fernandez is quality.
Yeah, but not in a. But I think Madueke is a very, very, and you got to remember last season at the Bridge he tore our defence to pieces. Ben, I'll go to you first. What's your thoughts on Madueke?
I think he's a good player. The reason we take Madueke is not because of anything he's got in quality-wise, isn't it, though, Aki? The reason we take Madueke is because he's club-trained footballer.
I want him for his quality. I think he is very...
He's a good player. We've got so many wingers.
Sean, before I go to James about Madueke, Sean, listen, I'm going to try and play a stinker tonight. So So we'll see what I can do. Honestly, I swear the I hate Cody Mack for this. The comparison to me and Cucurella is staggeringly frightening. It's unreal. Literally, I want a DNA test if I ever get to meet him. Flower, what's your thoughts on Madueke?
I think he's good at what he does, but I think his end product's crap. And I think we've got lots of those kind of players. I don't think he would take us to the next level, to be honest. I wouldn't say he's miles better than Kulu if Kulu's going to be out wide. He is better than Johnson and stuff, but I personally don't look at him and go, you're the guy to take us to the next level. I just don't think his end product's good enough. I think when he's on form, he's really on form, and then he'll go missing for 5 games, and he'll be on form, and then. So for me, I don't rate him that highly. But now I've said that, I've probably jinxed it. Well,
no, Barbaric, who I had the joy of having a telephone call with earlier. I can guarantee you, there's no DNA shared there. That I can certainly vouch for. Daniel 90, big up Dan. Decision making, but this is the thing with players like that. I think you can coach it into them. It's just an opinion. I think he is everything our wingers aren't currently. But talking of that,
yeah,
really bad to Tottenham. You raised a good thing, James, in the selection. Matthias Tell obviously did very, very well for France under 21s. Looked confident, looked like wanted the ball, great finishing for his goals. You'd start him tonight, yeah?
Yeah, I would, and I would bring Son on with half an hour to go and let Son prove a point. That's how I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe people are saying this, Nick. I can't believe I should have kept my mouth shut. It's going to start up again. Honestly, the resemblance. If you take away his hair, it is. I swear, it is me. I'm like, what am I doing? But no, as we were saying, Matthias Tell for you, Ben.
Matthias Tell, I don't rate him. I'm gonna give him a bit more time. But from what I have seen from him in a Tottenham shirt, in senior football, he's looked bang average so far. I've not seen anything from him that a Mikey Moore hasn't shown. I've not seen anything. I don't see a footballer there. I don't see a footballer. He looks good in France under 21s, but in senior football, he looks very average. I just haven't seen it. I could be wrong, but so far, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing him as a winger. I don't think he's a striker. I don't see where his position is because he's not a winger, because he hasn't got raw pace, and he's not a striker because he scores 1 goal in 15 games. He's neither. What is Matthias Tell? What is he?
I would say, this is just my personal opinion, I think he's shown just as much as Archie Gray, just as much as Odegaard, just as much as Mikey Moore. None of them have shown me anything to say you are worth more than £5 million. To be honest, maybe Gray here or there, but if we're being honest, Odegaard, Tell, Mikey Moore, if we are, I'll be honest with you, none of them have done anything to warrant anything. But they can't.
The difference is no flower power. The difference is Odegaard was 30 million quid.
No, but I'm not. You're talking about the player.
£65 million.
Yeah, but you were just talking about. I'm not talking about the price. I'm talking about the player. If we're being honest and saying talking about the player, take everything away and just judge the player. Is any the
clock end doesn't bigger.
Is any player, attacking player in this system look good? Son hasn't. Kulu hasn't. Solanke hasn't. None of them have in this system look good. The only one that you could say has done their job is Johnson, but he hasn't looked good.
You could say,
the worry for me with Johnson, if Johnson starts, is always who's he playing right back with. Because if he's on the right, if it's Porro and he's up there, obviously they don't trap. But you just got to look at the Bournemouth goal. It happens time and time again. At the start of the season, and I still try and defend Brennan, because if you got to remember, he has been, what he offers off the ball or away from the far post has been really, really, really poor. But can you imagine where we'd be without those goals he has got? If we just took away those goals, we look at it, and like you say, with Spurs, sometimes our goals look our brilliant strike force and our high goals and our goal difference is because there's been clusters of games where we've just annihilated teams. But when the big games come and you just need one goal or one moment, they're not there. They're not there. They can't. When everything's good, they're all there. Without Brennan Johnson's goals, we would be in a lot worse place if it could get worse. But he does score the goals. But I worry. You got to remember this game, James, and people say you got to remember this game isn't for the faint-hearted. This game is where you need men that are going to put a tackle in, stand up, have a literally man up, and literally run their hearts out and put all the pride, effort, energy, everything in. And if I was to say that, would you say, James, that Brennan Johnson fits in that category?
I would say maybe Brennan Johnson has showed more attitude and fight than Tell and Son this season. And that's not saying that he's gone above and beyond. Every time the tough gets going with Son, he goes missing every single time. And Tell, I haven't seen enough of Tell to say he would do that. But at least Johnson, on the other occasion, has kind of put a foot in and stood up for a couple of players. So, again, it's a hard one to say. So, I think you're choosing between sort of like average and average.
This is. I tell you what. This is exactly what the 6-year anniversary. Who'd have thought that in 6 years of moving to the stadium to the day, we'd be discussing when we had people that we had when we moved in, to having a discussion of do these people have fight for the Chelsea game? And this is it. I mean, I don't see that team back in the day when we all know about Battle of the Bridge. It always gets spoken about this time. Those men were ready to go to war. Go to war, run through a brick wall. Obviously, they're trying to compete for the title and keep the title race going. But I just can't see it with this team. Can you, Ben?
No. This team's too nice. This team are the reflection of the manager, aren't they? That is the thing with all football teams. Teams are a reflection of their boss. You see with, let's say, Arsenal, they're frantic, they're aggressive, they're nasty. And that's a reflection on Mikel Arteta. Manchester City are a reflection of Pep Guardiola. Liverpool are a reflection of Arne Slot and, of course, of Jurgen Klopp when he was there. Our team is a reflection of our manager. Like that, the entire game, not saying a word. There's nothing there. They stand there like statues. There's no impetus. There's no fight. There's no aggression. There's no nastiness. And it's sort of you look, even when Conte was there was a bit of a nasty streak. Pochettino's team, they had a real nasty streak. We kicked players. We made tactical fouls. We just let teams through. We're wide open at the back, and we let teams walk straight through us.
Do you know what? I know James loves doing a bit of nostalgia. We've had some great streams doing nostalgia. I know there's lots of fans or viewers in the chat now that like the bit of nostalgia. And I'm going to take a leaf out of Sean Slater's tweet yesterday about the three people. If you could, and this is for everyone in the chat as well, if we could pick, or individually, you could pick a defender, and it could be anywhere in the back line, a midfielder, anywhere in the midfield, and a forward. So 3 players from the Levy era only. For tonight, who would you go for? James, go to you first.
So I could pick a defender, midfielder, and attacker.
Yeah, and it could be anywhere. It could be left wing, left back, right back, centre midfield, and forward. But Levy era only.
I would go Harry Kane because wore the heart on his sleeve. Midfield, I would probably go Luka Modric.
That's a good shout.
And I have to. There's no way I can pick a defender other than Ledley King.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You've got the same, pretty much bang on as 3 for all. In fact, you have. That's a great seat. I think there's a lot of people going to say it.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to pick Bale and Kane because I thought both attackers. So that's why I went with Kane with a bit more passion and heart.
Yeah,
So
you
Kane
can put Bell on the left wing though, or the right wing.
more
it
like
just
an
for this
attacker,
game?
isn't it? So
Just for this
Yeah.
game. Just for this game. Just for Chelsea.
I'm gonna go. I've got to go Ledley King. I've got to go Ledley King. He's just too good. I'm gonna be controversial.
Go on.
I'm gonna say we need a Scotty Parker.
It's a good shout. It's a great shout. It's a great shout.
Someone that understands the North London derby. Someone that
You mean
understands
to Spurs Chelsea, not North London.
a London derby itself.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
There we
a
go.
London derby, and up front, it's got to be Harry Kane. It's got to be Harry Kane. It's got to be.
I'm sorry, but people will know. Sean Slater definitely will know the defender I'm going to choose. Am I predictable or something? Am I predictable?
Yeah, you are.
Kane up top. Oh, mate. It's Dembele. I don't think you can go past Dembele. I honestly, Luka Modric is a. Oh.
For me, I went
We
with.
need still. I don't think you can go past. For me, I don't think one. Do you know what, Shorty? When it comes to my love for Victor Wanyama, it is endless. But that was just the one season. I want to Dembele, turned up. I think I've got to go Vertonghen, Dembele, Kane, which ironically were all at the Battle of the Bridge. So
I was close to picking Sandro over Modric.
Do you know what?
If you want fight and you're looking at like Scott Park, for me, Sandro would die on that pitch if he could. Like that's why.
Well, do you know what? Let's add this again, because obviously Kane is the runaway winner for the striker. Let's take Kane out of the equation. So you had to choose another striker, and that goes for the challenge other than Harry Kane. I do love a bit in the stat, mate. Stambouli, mate. I nicknamed Stambouli FIFA because when you push triangle for ages and then you run out of energy. It's like that's what Stambouli did after like 2-3 yards. So I used to call him FIFA. But so if we're taking Kane out, and you had to pick another striker, and there are loads.
Dimitar Berbatov.
You're going Berbatov.
He's world class.
Who would you go for, James?
Jermaine Defoe.
Everyone knows I love Jermaine Defoe, but Dimitar Berbatov was a level above. He was a level above.
Yeah, no, I agree. But Berbatov would need wingers to be able to score goals. Jermaine Defoe would need half a chance and he'd bury it. So that's why, for me, if you need that 1-0 to win it, I would go Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I love Berbatov. Berbatov. Would you rather win the way? Go back to it. Would you rather win the Europa Cup and Levy stay? Mate, these questions you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I want Spurs to win silverware as often as possible. As often as possible. I want Levy out. Until Levy leaves this football club, he will always be public enemy number one on my radar. My hatred for him isn't as much as my love for Tottenham. It's close. I won't lie, it's close. But I've always got to go silverware. But the day Levy goes, I wish him well in whatever he does. Go build your skyscrapers, build your hotels, build whatever the hell you want. But just stay as far away as Tottenham, and I'll never mention your name again. But like I said, saying trophies or Levy goes, you've got to go for a trophy. Yes, Angus, I hate Levy a hell of a lot more than Judas. It's not even close. But yeah, going back to striker, I think I'm going to have to agree with Flower. Chelsea games, you need a hitman. If the ball bounces out, if you get the ball, just that deadly assassin. I think
the chips were down, Naraki, in a final against Chelsea. Who scored? Dimitar Berbatov.
It was a penalty.
Different team, and it's a different.
Put it in the back of the net.
Different team, though. We had a different team there. If we're looking at our team now,
there's no denying how elite. If someone said to me for a season, "Who do you want, Berbatov or Defoe?" Berbatov in a heartbeat. But this game, you got to remember, we don't create many chances there. You need a predator, you need an assassin, and Jermaine Defoe springs to mind immediately.
I loved that. I love that, man. So, like it's one of those. It's really difficult because I love those. Both those two together should have been the partnership rather than Berbatov and Keane. But of course, Defoe wanted game time. We had Robbie Keane. We had that was when Tottenham was amazing because we had 4 strikers. We had Berbatov, Keane, Bent, and Defoe. We had 4 strikers. I believe Bent was there. No, he wasn't. Bent came later, didn't he? Bent came later. But we had those 3 together.
I forgot about that guy. I completely forgot about Darren Bent.
I can't remember if we had him at the same time as them 3.
Yeah, I think we did. I think he come in at the end, didn't he?
Darren Bent was when Harry Redknapp came in. Because we had Sandra. So it was the season that Darren Bent was. So we had Pavlyuchenko.
No, we had all 4 because Ramos had Darren Bent, I think.
Yeah, Ramos brought Darren Bent in that summer, and then obviously Harry Redknapp inherited him. Okay, there we go. Do you know what? We've done the defender, the forward, and the midfielder. If you had to have a manager in Levy era leading this team out tonight, who would you go for?
Pochettino all day long.
Because of the players that we have, it has to. I would love to say Redknapp, but I don't believe we've got the attacking players to play that system. So I would say Pochettino.
I'm actually gonna differ from both you two.
Martin Yole.
Mate, am I getting this predictable? I need to up my game and change up. Mate, without a shadow of a doubt, Martin Yole. Martin Yole, without a doubt. I honestly, I look at this and we talk 6 years at the stadium, we do anything. That man is the catalyst for the entire. That man, you just saw like his beef with Wenger. I cannot explain my love for that man. He is my favourite Spurs manager ahead of Pochettino. I love Martin Yole, and I would love, please God, when we sell the club, Martin Yole to come back as director of football and us to win something as the biggest you to Levy. I honestly, Meatball Ron has gone with AVB. That'd be a good one.
I wouldn't call Poch a bottler against Chelsea. Poch is the only manager in the Premier League era that's beaten Chelsea at Chelsea. Got to give a bit of respect to Pochettino here.
This is what we do. Pochettino deserves a lot of credit for what he did. A lot of credit for what he did at Tottenham. But we didn't get it over the line. Yes, he is our best manager in the Premier League era. There's, apart from if you want to do it seriously, it's one day Ramos for actually winning something. Oh my God, that's a great question.
That's a great question. It's a great question. Flower power?
Gareth Bale.
Did he take penalties for us?
Not for us.
Even in the first stint.
The way he could, for me, I mean, I would love to pick Van der Vaart because obviously, but I'm trying to be different. And the 2 players I would go with would be Tom Huddlestone or Gareth Bale, just because if it's only a one-off, those 2 could hit a dead ball better than anybody that you could name. So I would go for those 2.
Oh, no, I'll name one more that I'll bring up. It's going to be Christian Ziege.
No, I hate him. Yeah.
I love Ziege.
You're both wrong. The only when the chips were down, Dimitar Berbatov.
No, obviously I'm trying to go for the out the box ones because obviously you could say Berber, you could say Berber. Mate, I still think the best penalty best penalty I've ever seen in my life was Harry Maguire's for England in the Euro final.
It was really good.
That penalty and smashing the camera, so you never know what these penalty takers are like. That was a banging penalty.
I got one that could put a spanner in the works, maybe, because he wasn't a very good footballer. But one of the most high-pressure penalties I've seen was Eric Dyer versus Colombia in the Euros? No, the World Cup.
We really are going out of the box now, aren't we? Yeah.
But that is pressure to finish that as the last penalty. So could you say Eric Dyer?
Well, I'll tell you what,
I love Eric.
well, I'll tell you what, before we get on to Sunday, the protest and change for Spurs for the last 10, 15 minutes, let's get people's score predictions for tonight locked in. What am I? DJ EZ. Let's get our predictions in. James, what are you thinking for the result tonight?
I'm going to say 3-1.
2.
3-1. That's what I'm going to say. 3-1. I have no idea.
Well, Jimmy Hotspur agrees you. Big up, Claire. Hope you're good to see you in here, Claire. I hope you're good and well. Mate, 3-1 seems to be the popular.
But I don't know who to. I really don't know. It could be Spurs. It could be Chelsea. I mean, this team is so impossible. I said on Sav's show earlier, we have the players to go there and win this game comfortably. Are they going to step up?
Big K, who is Eric Dyer's biggest fan, or was Eric Dyer's biggest fan till he left. Yeah, listen, I this game, you look at it as well. I'm waiting for the excuses to be. We heard last season we didn't play enough games. Now we're being told we played too many games. Now we've been told that we need a rest. Today is going to be we had too long without playing. I'm sorry, this game. Oh, amazing, Claire. Make sure you come and say hello. Make sure you come and say hello. I don't know. And again, to the 92 people, if you are attending the protest but you're not going into the ground, come and join us in the Coach and Horses after. There's going to be a huge ton of us. Going to have a lot of fun, a good banter, and just chilling and watching Spurs on phones all over the place. Yeah, this game, James, do you know what? If there was a rule where you could have one game a season where you say, yeah, we're not even going to play it, we just forfeit, and you take the defeat and the other team gets 3 points, it's this game. It's this game. This is the one game a year where it doesn't matter how well we're in form, how bad they're in form, what injuries they have. You know, when we keep saying these big games like the semi-finals, the fight, like we had with Liverpool and Villa, when it comes to the big ones, unfortunately, the saying I use, when the going gets tough, the weak go hiding. There is something, and do you know what it is? This game, I think the players play the occasion, not the match. They know it's in their head that, oh, here we go, it's Chelsea, and every player that comes and it gets to this game, they know the history of the rivalry, of how bad this game. It's in their heads because we don't have leaders, because there's no accountability or culture to go, yeah, let's do this. I just can't see anything other than a defeat. I just can't. And the good thing is I go in thinking a defeat. If it's anything else, I'm ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. But I can't say in this game, yeah, we're going to win, because funnily enough, I'm 45 years old, 46 in a couple of months, and we've won 2 league games. 2 league games. So I mean, what's yours, Ben?
In the Premier, currently we're the third worst team away from home in the all-present Premier League teams, aren't we? Can someone
the form table? I've seen a table that since Amorim came into United, we are 17th. If the league table starts then entirely, we are 17th.
We're 17th away from home.
Oh, that's home and away. 17th since Amorim took over at United. If the league table started then and we're at XYZ into the season, Tottenham Hotspur will be sitting 17th as we speak.
We're not winning today. We never win at Stamford Bridge. 1 win in 35 years in the Premier League.
Listen, there has to be a second. There has to be a second at some point.
It goes without saying. I'm going to agree. I can only see 3-1 Chelsea. I hope we turn up tonight, but it will be what happens when we play Chelsea. The owners of Chelsea will say, we'll give you 15 grand each if you turn up and beat Tottenham. They will turn up like prime Barcelona and they'll batter us like they always do when we go to Stamford Bridge. Whenever we go to that stadium, we don't turn up. We've turned up once in 35 years at Stamford Bridge. The best
I will say, Billy, you say have some belief. And also, why since Amarin, because I'm trying to show the form table since then, which has been poor. Have some belief. I have belief in my team, apart from we go to Chelsea. What for me to have belief, I should be able to see that Spurs have some kind of skill in the games, some kind of something to build up on and say, yeah, do you know what? I think we can do it this time. And as I said before that, we've gone there on great form. We've gone there when we're challenging for championships.
Yeah.
And failed to get the job done. We've gone when they've been the last season, and the season before that, they were at the worst they've been. Still couldn't get the job done. They're now trying to ignite their Champions League push. I simply do not have enough confidence in this team. And this isn't just about Ange and the current squad. This has been, as Ben just said, the entire Premier League era. The entire Premier League era. It is just too hard to say, do you know what? Spurs have got the belief. If it had been another team, another ground, yeah. Like if it had been away against West Ham. We have a fairly decent record there. They're in a predicament we're in. Then you can see it. At Stamford Bridge, it's the one game every year where I just can't see it happening.
I don't like being told I've got to believe. Because I want to have something to believe in. Belief is the most wonderful thing possible. It's amazing to be able to believe in something. But when your away form's awful, when your form is awful, and the team you're playing is one of the teams you're the worst at, and we're in every metric we're terrible away from home, and especially against Chelsea. Oh, just believe in it. There's no evidence to believe in. There's no evidence to say we're going to go to Chelsea. Let's hope we do. Let's hope we go to Chelsea, turn up and turn them over, because we would all happily be wrong.
Oh, mate, I'd love it. I would love it.
If we beat Chelsea, I will be absolutely over the moon. But the facts are, we always lose to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Always. Always. And that's not just in the league as well. It's in the cups as well. I remember we were 3-0 up against them at one point in the Carabao Cup. They came back and scored 3 goals. We are terrible at Stamford Bridge.
I'm just going to respond to Billy one more. We beat City 4-0. Yes. We lost to Ipswich 2-1. We lost to Leicester 2-1. We lost to Crystal Palace 1-0. Yeah. We lost to Everton 3-2. It's all well and good saying we beat City 4-0. But if you're going to use the good ones, I can reel off the bad ones more than you can reel off the good ones. I understand what you're saying. But you just literally, we can't keep hanging on that victory. That should be built from there. We've done anything but. But you know what? We've got some questions to answer. Yeah. So we'll quickly go through those. So a user asked it. We kind of discussed it. Listen, Europa. I want a cup. I want a cup.
I think people underestimate and they kind of think because somebody's Levy out, or because they're Ange out, or because they're Min Son out, or because they don't like Brennan Johnson or whoever, that they automatically presume that we hate Tottenham, and that's not. I couldn't be any further from the truth. I love Tottenham, mate. When I first met my wife, or now to be wife, I said, "Listen, you will always be number 2. So if you can accept that, then we're good." And she went, "Why would I always be number 2?" I said, "Tottenham will always be number 1, and then it'll be you until the kids, and then you'll be number 3." And she was like, "Okay, fair enough." And even though I don't get to go to many games nowadays because of where we move and family, and I watch, I would say 90-95% of Tottenham's games every single season, and every single game I want us to win. So the fact that you're saying like Levy out, I mean, I said to you earlier, Brian, and when we were talking, if I could sit there and watch a cup final with my son and us win that cup, I will be forever grateful for every man involved, because that's something I could just dream of, to be honest. It's what I dream of. So it's not even close for me. It's always the club comes first. Tottenham Hotspur comes before Levy, comes before Ange, comes before Dominic Solanke, Mickey van der Ven. even Vicario, maybe not Vicario, but Tottenham always come first.
Listen, I will always say as well, the thing is, even if we win the trophy, does my stance on Levy change? User is a wicked guy and a great supporter of all the channels as well. Anyway,
Great question.
Up to him, but it is. But you know what it is. Ryan Isaac said this to me as well. Well, not this part. The next part I'm going to say, but just because we win the Europa League, that's yes, well done. You've got a trophy in the bag. It's taken you 25 years to get your second. It's taken 16 years to get your second from the last one. But now you're in the Champions League. You're going to go spend money on Champions League. Are you going to do what a football club should do? But where Ryan was saying, and he's right, what we've got to start looking at, with the season drawing to a close, hopefully Change for Tottenham have got something lined up. This doesn't stop when the season ends. The pressure still needs to remain. I'm not saying we start doing protests during the summer, walking down the high road, because it will have no effect. But the pressure needs to constantly remain throughout the end of the season, throughout the window. It needs to be constant pressure. But I mean, Ben, I would imagine you're the same, trophy first, aren't you?
For sure. I always want absolutely. At the end of the day, Levy's an employee of the football club. He's an employee of the football club. The more, if we've said it, Achi, if Tottenham went 10 years with backing the manager fully, picking up the odd cup once, we don't have to win every single season. The odd cup once every 3 or 4 years, or at least challenging or putting all the money and saying, you know what, we didn't win anything this year, but we gave it a real go, didn't we? We gave the manager the players, we gave them the right playing staff. After 10, 15 years, we would go, you know what? Fair play to you, Levy. After 20 years of that, we'd be like, you know what? I'm not Levy out anymore. Because you have done what you said you wanted to do. You've backed the team. We've done what we want, and we're proud of our football club again. Levy out can change. That can change if they start doing what they told us they were going to do with the brand new stadium, of it being a game changer. Us competing for the highest honours, and if we don't win, we put our hands up and say, you know what, the better teams won it. But that is the reason, is we don't eat, we go out with a whimper. We don't try. Instead of buying top players, we buy kids. Instead of going that extra mile and bringing in a world-class player for stupid money a week, we don't buy anyone, or even worse, we buy a kid and put all the pressure onto the kids and say, you know what, we're putting them on a pedestal. Let's actually compete. Compete for trophies and we'll all be really happy. Let's compete for once. Don't even have to win. Just give it a go.
Right, we'll go through the other questions, but I just want to say big up to Colin Crossamano and Psycho Fox that just joined us. Billy, now you're talking my language. Now you're talking my language. I would love Spurs to be like an Atletico Madrid. Absolutely love it, as Kevin Keegan would say. Right, you said youngsters. We'll go through these questions that we have. We've got one, including this, 1, 2, 3, 4. James, will Mikey Moore be on the bench today?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You both don't?
No. And even if he was on the bench, he'd still play Timo Werner in front of him.
Oh, listen, I'm going to go. I'm going to put out a bit of blind hope and faith that Mikey Moore will be on the bench. I'm going to, whether he gets on the pitch is another thing. I don't know. People, let's see what. Yeah, people are saying. Claire and Jimmy Hotspur are saying, yeah, they don't think so. I think the treatment of him this season, obviously, he had his little spell out. Obviously, we were told he's staying in the first team to get minutes, and he, to be fair, he has been given some game time. But I thought we would have seen him feature a bit more. But you're both going for no on the bench, yeah? I'm going to go for yes.
Brian, the only thing I'd like to say to combat that is you don't get given minutes for the fun of it. You have to earn them. And every time he's been given minutes, barring 20 minutes in the Europa League against an absolutely nobody, he's actually done nothing.
Well, obviously, he got his goal in the other Europa League game, but Joe, it is as well. Like we've said, you look at it with stars or youngsters that have come through at other teams, or even when we did with Harry Kane when he came through and everything, the team was littered with stars around them to help them get through it, to coach them through, to be there with them. And unfortunately, Mikey Moore, compared to the talent that these youngsters are playing with at other Premier League teams, it's just not there. So I think, mate, who knows what's going on with him? But put it this way, he's done more than Tell in the brief time. Until because he's come from Bayern Munich and a bit. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think Mikey Moore, we'll see what happens with him. Then we've got Phil P. Question for Daigle. How did you feel when Romero pulled your hair a few seasons ago? Pulled it so hard. This is why I'm permanently like this now. Phil P. I now have my skinhead. And finally, from Jimmy Hotspur, what tactics will Wans use tonight? That tells us everything you need to know. I mean, Ben, what do you think? Same old with him?
We don't change, mate. We don't change. We don't change. It's who we are. It doesn't change anything.
We got one final question that there's no way we're not answering because it's a great question.
With the last thing about Romero pulling Cucurella's hair, I think Romero has a massive game tonight as well. I think he is one of those players that need to say, you know what, boys, I'm back now. I've just played for Argentina. We're solid again. Like, I think he's got a very big point to prove tonight, because if he does have a stinker, I'm not going to lie, I am a massive Romero fan, but if he has a stinker again, I'm happy. I'm now going to be like on that fence of, well, if you're sold, you're sold. So for me, step up, mate.
There we
Absolutely agree.
There we go. I mean, Ben, tactics for me are just to be just the same. He said it himself.
Yeah.
When that question that we couldn't find the comments for, but this is a great question to end off on from 3-4-all. Who in our current squad gets into Poch's best 11? I'm struggling.
Whoa, Ben, shut your mouth. There's one player that gets into that squad, and that's Vicario. Hands down, Vicario. Whoa. Ben, watch that tongue of yours, man. That's disgusting what you're saying to me.
I love Vicario. Prime Lloris is a better goalkeeper than Prime Vicario.
In his best 11, best when they're all at their best.
Better than Prime Vicario.
I think that's really unfair because Vicario hasn't had a world-class defence in front of him and a world-class CDM. So I think that's really... If you're talking... For me, Lloris's best feature was shot stopping, and if we're putting shot stopping versus shot stopping, Vicario is hands down better than Lloris.
No. I agree with you near the end. When Lloris first came, the guy was insane. The guy was absolutely... I agree. And you got to remember, when he first came, it was under AVB, so he had Ledley, King and Dawson, but at one point, the turmoil, then Sherwood and whatever, Lloris, as much as by the end of it, it was bad.
Lloris also had a worse defence in front of him. So you're saying that Vicario has never had a quality defence, but remember, Lloris had Dyer, Sanchez, Aurier and Davis in front of him, which is worse than any back four that Vicario's played behind. So no,
but Davis and Archie Gray at centre back.
Probably better than Dyer and Sanchez.
Yes, you are. Jamie, yes, you're going to regret it, but you can't fight it. Spurs are back. You can't fight it. I'm trying to think. I can't think.
I would love to see Vicario in front. If you had Vicario in front of Toby Alderweireld, who would do those passes for him.
Excuse me, Toby Alderweireld and who?
Yeah, you didn't let me finish. And Vertonghen. If you had those two in front of him, he wouldn't have to do anything with his feet. He would be literally there to save shots. And for me, Vicario's elite at saving shots.
Oh, there you go. Big up, Ronnie. I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're good, buddy. Hugo. This is the Hugo, Spence, Jan, Toby, Rose. You put Spence over Walker.
No way in hell. No way in hell.
Mate, let's have a little discussion about this for a couple of minutes. Let's have a little discussion about this. So, if people were to use, and bear in mind, before we get into this, because it's the nostalgia that we all love, this is Ronnie, how Ronnie sees the game. Doesn't mean he's right, doesn't mean he's wrong.
No.
This is the team. I'm talking about people in the chat. This is how Ronnie would see his team. And let's use this as a baseline. So people in the chat, start putting who you're changing for who. Ben, we'll go to you first. Who would you have in this? Or you'd change?
Bergvall for Victor Wanyama, because Victor Wanyama was class. It was class.
Okay. But you'd have
Kyle
Spencer Walker?
Kyle Walker is the best right back in the last 30, 40 years. He's won everything. There's no better right back than Kyle Walker.
Best ever Premier League right back. Yeah, best ever Premier League right back for me.
No one's good with him.
You're changing Lucas. You're changing Lucas Bergvall
for Victor Wanyama, and I'm putting
Spencer Walker.
Kyle Walker.
Are these playing all at their prime? Is that what we're saying? All at their prime?
Well, it's very hard to say all at their prime because people like Bergvall, we don't. It's kind of.
Well, yeah.
I will say that I do think. Where I will say with Ronnie, I think Lucas Bergvall is going to be magnificent. I think this guy is just going to get better and better and stronger. And if we're having this conversation 3-4 years down the line, I think Bergvall would have a very big chance.
Great little player so far. This is the thing that I see. Bergvall needs a coach. He needs someone that's going to grab him by the neck and make him the player that we think he's going to be. He is showing some real sparks of quality, Bergvall, but he needs a coach. He really needs a coach.
That's undisputed. But Jet Flower, who would you have or change in this baseline?
I'm gonna pick Vicario over Hugo Lloris.
Of course you are. Is that it? Everything else you keep?
I'm changing Kyle Walker for Spence.
Okay.
I'm changing Bergvall. Is it just this one game? Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, no. He said about the question was who would get into Poch's peak team.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about that team that went on to do what they did.
Okay. So no one will get into Poch's peak team other than maybe Vicario. No one else. That peak team was not. I don't think it's even close. I think that team was so good. Everyone in our squad at the moment doesn't even deserve to be spoken in the same light as those guys.
No. This team can't pass four, but this team can't string 5 passes together, let alone Poch's prime 11, which was going to Real Madrid and playing them off the park. This is the Real Madrid that won the Champions League that year. Real Madrid at home at Wembley. We played Real Madrid off the park.
Let me get that back up.
Played them off the park.
Where's Ronnie's comment? Where is Ronnie's comment? Where? Why didn't I star it? I've lost the comment now. Where's Ronnie's comment? Because I want to go through mine. There it is. There it is. But Lord Ronnie Trotter, you're right. I'm saying that for right now, see, Bobby K has put it. I love Paul Robinson. My favourite Spurs goalkeeper ever. But would he get into up? But then we're talking about now. Well, let's just say now and then. So I think on peak form, I would just shade Hugo over Vicario, but it is very, very close. Yeah. We'll see what Vicario can do. Like I said, again, if this was 3-4, this was a couple of years down the line, James, I'd probably be with you. Do you know what it is for me? And this might rattle some people. What I would do, and I've got to be careful because if Danny Rose's dad sees this, Nigel will have me for my guts for Carters. When Danny Rose first started, I couldn't stand his game because he was always like what we have now. The fullbacks were always up top. Potts got him and made him what he was. But I would put Walker at right back, and if I had to if it's between Spence and Rose, that's the bigger debate for me.
No, you've had a man.
No way. You better think up.
Whoa. Like I said at the beginning, this is how I see it. I'm not right. You're not wrong. It's how I see football.
Yeah, I am right. You're wrong.
I'm saying my decision would be Spence or Rose at left back. Walker walks right in. It's not even a discussion. Midfield, I would have to. I love Bergvall, but I think one second, Jay. I think I would go. I'd have to go Wanyama. Ben, 1 second. I want to bring that. Where is it? Because the front line.
With what you're saying, the only thing I want to say is the question was, would they get into a Pochettino squad?
Yeah.
So playing the Poch wide. That's how I looked at it.
No,
would they get into?
That's a good point. Let's good point. So Walker and Rose. Fine, no worries. Bergvall, Bergvall, I'd have to swap. Bergvall, I'd swap for Wanyama. Or, oh no, Poch didn't have Sandro, did he? Because Sandro and Dembele were electric together. And then the rest speaks for itself, really. Oh, wait a minute. Oh,
I would have. I know this is a bit far fetched, but I would have loved to have seen Lo Celso fit under Poch. Oh, that's one player I would have loved to have seen because I think he is a Poch kind of player.
Oh, could you wait a minute? There you go. I like seeing it. Where's Ride or Dice comment? Van der Ven left centre back. Jan left.
No, Van der Ven left back.
No, Jan left centre back. So Van der Ven left back. Oh, wait a minute.
How can you have two left centre backs?
I'm putting. If I had to, I put Van der Ven left centre back and Vertonghen centre back. Listen, Rose, like I said, on his day was tremendous.
No. No,
you
play VDV. You're going to go left back, and you're going to
team. Who is a better footballer, Jan Vertonghen or Mickey van der Ven? I love Mickey van der Ven.
Vertonghen.
Jan Vertonghen is a far better footballer than Mickey van der Ven was. I love Mickey van der Ven. I think he's an absolute beast of a player. Without the injuries, I think he's going to the very top. And I still think he could go to the very top if he gets someone that can manage his injuries correctly.
That's why I was saying about Spencer.
Far better footballer.
That's what I was saying about Spencer, the left back, because I believe
scored goals.
Ryan G, very quick question: do you go to Wolves? Do you have a season ticket? Because I will be going with Ben from We Are Tottenham TV to Wolves away, a stadium I've never been to. Don't know why I'm doing it to myself. I'm going to enjoy the road trip more than the game. But yeah, listen, do you know what? We are going to end on one thing because this channel didn't do anything for it.
Yeah.
And we're going to end again on nostalgia because we're talking about Jan and Toby, the Belgian barrier. What career? I honestly, I pray to God Jan Vertonghen comes back to this football club in any size, shape, or form, whether it be coaching, whether it be board level, whatever. What's the best centre back pairing I've seen in my lifetime, James? What about you?
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, I would put Ledley King as the best defender I've ever seen at Tottenham. But I think with the defence that we had with Jan, Toby, I mean, Walker, Rose, even Hugo, they just worked, man. We had the best defence in the league for God knows how long. Like, it just worked. They were solid, so it's hard to disagree.
At this moment in time, I'm starting to get really fed up with Romero because if he turns up tonight and pulls in a stinker, it's another big game. He's pulled us. All of our best performances this season have been with Radu Dragusin at the back. None of our good wins have been with Romero at the back.
All day long.
None of them. None of them have been with Romero at the back. And you want a Michael Dawson in the team because he had the aggression. I'd have a Michael Dawson in the team over a Romero. Like, real talk, I love Romero. I think he's a brilliant footballer. But when the chips are down...
Again, I think it's coaching, though, isn't it? It's coaching, though, again, isn't it?
He goes missing, or he does something thick. Like AC Milan in the Champions League. Game's still in the balance, only losing 1-0. What does he do? He gets himself sent off.
Ben, don't spend Jan and Toby time talking about... Romero.
I don't need to say anything about them. They're the best duo I've ever seen.
I will say, thankfully, Marios, thank you very much indeed, brother. This was the comment that I was trying to find where Ange Postecoglou said, whether Spurs adapt the more defensive setup in attempt to frustrate Chelsea. He said, this is Ange's words, not sorry to disappoint. We'll go there, have a crack, and see if it will be a good game. Oh dear. Right, on that note, we are going to wrap up because I've got to do my final, Bobby K's in the chat, final preparations to get everything ready to end my temporary visit in Canada and get to the Scotland Yard and watch the football before getting on my flight. So the next time I will see everyone, I will be... Oh, no, I'll probably do my We Are Tottenham TV thing before going to the airport. But I will see you all in the UK, and I hope to see as many of you as I can on Sunday and during my stay. James, brother, thank you so much for coming on, brother. Any final comments?
No, safe journey, man. That's the main thing for me. Safe journey. Make sure you get here safe and well. I can't get to the protest, so please, everybody, just make your voices heard. Yeah. Film as much as possible. I'd love to see as much as possible. I'll be there in spirit, not in body. So do what you can for us, and safe journey, please, mate.
Thank you very much indeed, brother. Ben, any final comments?
Final comments. Let's actually give it a go tonight. Let's give it a go and let's see what happens. Hopefully the boys prove us wrong. And hopefully tomorrow, when we're streaming tomorrow, hopefully we've all got mud on our faces and Spurs have gone to Chelsea for the first time in a long time and put a victory past them. Let's have a go. But thank you all so much for watching today's show. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Flower power. Catchphrase.
And as always, Raya out.
Let it go. Let it go.
All I will say, guys, so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know how many likes and subs, but make sure you like and subscribe to both the Kauffie Company and to, of course, on Tottenham on Tour, because we've dual streamed on both. If the mods will put the links in for both channels, that will help us out a lot. But thank you all so much for watching today's show. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, if you smell what the cough is brewing, and take it away, Aki.
I will say I plan to do stuff on Tottenham on Tour when I'm back in England. I'm on a better time zone and can do it. Thank you to everyone with the safe travels comments. G, I do look forward to catching up, buddy. Everyone, have a great day. Try not to have watch Spurs from the back of the sofa. Levy, 3 days till I won't see you. You will see me. And as always, Levy out. Tottenham on Tour.